Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's not good. Hi everybody, welcome back to Honeysuckle Homestead Retreat. Today, I'm going to be cleaning out my chimney.
Hi everybody, my name is Desiree. I live and work in Atlanta, but I have a tiny house in the Appalachian Mountains where I'm slowly starting an off-grid farm. I'm a single girl doing most of the work on my own and learning as I go. So come along with me on my journey, and I hope it will entertain and maybe also give someone out there a little inspiration. Welcome to Honeysuckle Homestead Retreat.
It is the middle of September and it's not quite cold enough here yet to fire up the wood stove, but winter will be at our heels pretty soon. So I am preparing for it. I need to clean out this chimney. It should be done at least once a year. I definitely recommend hiring a professional to do it, but I'm going to do it myself here because I don't have a very big chimney. And I found this really cool kit on Amazon, and it had a lot of great reviews. So I'm going to give it a go and see if I can get all of the soot out of my chimney here. So fingers crossed. I think we can make this work. All right, so the very first thing I have to do here is take this bottom cap off. So I'm just going to loosen this up here, take this band off, loosen it up a little bit more. Okay. Whew. All right, so we already have obviously some soot in there, a decent amount actually. You can see all that. So I'm going to go dump this somewhere. Okay, so now I'm just going to look up the chimney and see if I see anything. To show you guys what I see a lot of spider webs and I see some soot. So I'm going to get all this cleaned out. Luckily I don't see anything shiny, but there's also a bend in my chimney here, so I can't see up past that little elbow there, unfortunately. Oh, that's way up there. So the instructions said that this needs to be trimmed down to about a 1/4 inch past the pipe. So my pipe on the inside is pretty small, as you saw in that other video. So I'm going to have to cut this down quite a bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to push this up in here like this. And then I'm going to try to center it as much as I can. And then I'm going to mark where I want to cut it. I'm just going to mark just one of these, and then I can use it as a reference for cutting the rest. Yeah, my chimney is tiny. Alright, so I've got my markings, and I'm going to make the cuts. So I cut this guy down a good bit. I have a very small interior chimney there. So this is really small. Now what I plan to do is to go up through here and push it all the way up to the top. So I'm going to put these together, and I'm going to start at the top first. That goes into that hole there, so there it is, pretty simple. So I am unsure of how many of these I need. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to measure it this way. It looks like I need to add at least one more, if not two. I'll be pushing it all the way to the top first. And then I'll come down with it. Okay, so let's see how that does. It doesn't quite reach the top, so I'm going to add one more. This should do it. This should be the last one that I have to add. So now I'm just going to put this on the very top. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's not good. Oh, I see it. Man. Whew. That scared me. I thought that thing was stuck up in there. Okay. Let me continue. It is a lot better than it was. Okay, we've got a mess. All right, I'm going to take this outside to clean it. Sorry, that won't be on camera. And now this one, I'm just going to push the soot, if there is any. Oh, and there is. Here, let me show you. That is a lot of soot. Ooh, boy. Yeah. So I'm just gonna push this soot into the stove itself. It's the easiest way. And since this isn't big enough, what I'm doing is I'm using a circular motion, and I'm kind of going up and down. Yeah, that's nasty. Okay, so that's how this part of the chimney looks. And that one's looking pretty spotless too. So now I'm just going to put it back together. Okay, so a few takeaways from the chimney cleaning experience today. One, I should have kept the gloves on the entire time. I'm not even sure if this soot will come out. It reminds me of the chimney sweets from Mary Poppins. Number two, do I recommend that tool that I got off of Amazon? I can't remember the name of it now. But the thing where I connected all the different rods and then used the drill to clean the chimney. Do I recommend it? Yes and no. Ultimately, no. Like, I don't think I'm going to use it again. There's a few reasons why. One, it said to keep the drill, while the drill's spinning, keep the motion, an up and down motion. And so I was keeping this up and down motion, and the purpose of that was to avoid these from hitting the screws inside of the chimney. Well, as you can see, that didn't work. There's all these, like, it's all chopped up. So I don't know if these rods hitting the screws inside caused one of these rods to pop out while I was using the system. Because all you have to do is push, that pushes in, and when it does, it comes out. So I'm wondering if one of the screws possibly, if this hit one of the screws at just the right spot, like perfectly at the right spot, to cause it to push in and then release. I don't know. What I do know is when this rod popped out and it just came out and I knew that the rest of the rods were up in the chimney, it scared me to death because I'm like, how am I going to get that out? I was so glad that it was like within reach. But if it hadn't been, if let's say a rod broke free further up the chimney, well, either A, I would have to take the chimney apart, which if you saw my previous video of me putting that chimney up, believe me when I say I don't ever want to do that again. And in order to take that chimney apart, I would have to do that again. So my heart sunk when I saw this actually break free. And I was so relieved that it was within reach. But it made me not like this tool. A couple of times the drill broke free, and I don't mean the piece that goes in the drill, I mean the piece that goes into the rod that is the adapter for the drill. Like it stayed in the drill, but it broke free from this, and it uses that same like button release system. So I don't feel like this was the sturdiest tool to use. I'm just not confident in this tool. I'm not confident that it won't get stuck in my chimney or that it won't just break free and then I have to go fish it out through means that I really don't want to do. I did feel like it did clean the chimney for the most part. I think it got the majority of the soot out from the top to the bottom. So I did like that about it. I liked that these rods reached all the way to the top of my chimney. That was really awesome. Them reaching all the way to the top is just canceled out by the fact that it could just break off and then I wouldn't be able to get the rods out. So will I ever use this tool again? Probably not. I will probably go a different route for next season when I clean out the chimney, depending on how much I use the chimney this season. So I only use it a couple of weekends each month. And I think that cleaning it once a year with a couple of uses like that is fine. If I were using this stove every day, I feel like I should clean it at least midwinter. And the reason I say that is to me, there was a lot of soot in there. So I just don't know if it could last all winter, if I were here every day and if I were using it every single day. I'm not a professional when it comes to wood burning stoves, so I really don't know for sure how often it needs to be cleaned out. But if I do find that answer, I will put that in the subtitle there. Other than that, the second tool that I used was part of a kit that I received when I bought another wood burning stove that's a camp stove. And I had bought it to put in my canvas tent that actually was built to take a wood stove. I still have that wood stove. I wouldn't be able to put that stove in here. It's not meant for being inside of a house. But I thought maybe the cleaning tool for that would work for this stovepipe. And it kind of did, as you saw. But the problem was the diameter wasn't big enough. I kind of would like to find another tool like that one, but with a bigger brush on it. I do need to look into that and see if I can find that, because a tool like that, I'm not worried about any of the rods breaking off because it's all one system. I think the problem I ran into with this particular tool had more to do with the turns in my stovepipe, because I had to go around two 30-degree elbows to get all the way to the top and to get to most of my stovepipe. And I think that the kinks and the turns may have helped break these loose. So if you have a stovepipe that's just straight up and down, I think this would probably work fine for you. I just don't think it's good for turns. even though it's advertised to handle that. I don't think it should be. I do absolutely recommend hiring a professional chimney sweep. And that is something I actually might do next season instead of doing it myself. And the only reason I think I might is I'm thinking it might be a good idea to have a professional come out once a year, and then I take care of it in the interim. So like, for example, if I were out here every day and I was using that stove every day this winter, I would probably clean it maybe once a month or once every 2 months. That might be overkill. Maybe midway through the winter I would clean it. And then I would later hire a professional to come clean it on an annual basis. I don't think that's a bad idea. It is better to be safe than sorry with a wood stove. In my scenario this time, I've only used it one season, and I think I cleaned it pretty good for the most part. Maybe next season I will hire a professional to come out. All right, well, that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed my episode, please give me a thumbs up. If you've been enjoying my content, if you've seen some of my other videos, or even if you haven't, go ahead and check out some of my other videos and see if you like what you see. And if you do, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. It'll let you know whenever I post a new video. Although I do try to put one out once a week, every early Sunday morning. I do sometimes miss a week here and there, but for the most part, I try to get it out once a week. Let me know if any of you guys have wood burning stoves and how you keep your chimneys clean. Do you hire a professional? Do you do it yourself? I'm also all ears for advice. So if you saw this video and you're like, oh, she's doing it wrong, then definitely let me know that too. I am open to constructive criticism. And this is my first wood burning stove, in at least wood burning indoor stove that I've ever had. So I am learning as I go, as I do in most of my videos here. If you have any advice to give, I am all ears. And yeah, that's it. I will see you guys next time.